Well, it's bright and early on day 8, would you say? Yeah.
Yes.
At festival. And Cheryl Sleboda, tell me.
it.
Sleboda?
Sleboda.
Okay, I'm Slide Key, so you know, I
Okay.
kind of have it in there. Has agreed to chat with us. She's been here the whole time, but I want to start with this quilt, and she's from the comic book industry.
Yeah, I've worked in the comic book industry for now 20 years. I have always collected comic books, and so this quilt is sort of like a marriage between my comic book day job and my quilter business that I do at night. So
you're still doing the comic book?
Yeah, I work full time, and
Wow.
I run my quilt business full time.
I was going to say, you have a quilt business full time, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So I'm a teacher. I do patterns, and I have a template tool for fabric manipulation. I also sell T-shirts and with my skull logo on them. So yeah, I kind of do it all.
Well, now if you have your comic book job during the day, can you travel and teach or not so much?
I do. I actually take my vacation days from work.
Wow, dedicated.
And I actually travel that way.
Nice.
And I speak to guilds and do that kind of thing too. So yeah, I'm sort of all over the place with that.
So tell us about this quilt.
So this quilt was part of a juried invitational, and I was asked to interpret the theme of patterns. And the first thing that came to my mind was Jack Kirby and what's called Kirby Krackle, which is a background filler in comic books. So it's always represented pretty small, probably 2 or 3 inches high. So I decided to do it pretty big, and yeah.
So you're telling me, it's been a long time since I've looked at comic books. You're telling me that this is what the background would be?
So in the background, behind the characters, if it was in outer space or someplace, they would use all these little bubbles to represent, you know, energy or other worlds or things like that.
Really?
Yeah, so there's a lot of like these little dots, and because Jack Kirby created it, he was the one who
so that's the human being.
The human being, yeah, in the 1960s created this background fill called Kirby Krackle, and now it's still used today. Comic book artists all the time use it to fill in the backgrounds behind characters as sort of a way to create depth. And I thought it would be a really great quilt.
That is great. That is wonderful. I'll have to look at it now a little bit differently.
Yeah,
and when was it? You said in what era? The 70s?
About the 60s.
60s,
70s. Yeah, 60s, 70s was when his heyday was, and he would, make all these comic books about space and magic and science, and yeah, so I was really thrilled to interpret that as my pattern.
I love that. This is a wonderful exhibit in here, right?
Yeah.
How many people were asked, do you know?
I don't know how many people were asked, but I believe there's like 30 or some odd quilts that were accepted out of the invitational. So.
And what were your exact rules on this? Because the quilts are very different.
Yeah, we had a size limitation. They had to be 40 by 40, so which is a lot bigger than I normally work.
Oh, really? Yeah. Yikes, king size.
Yeah, to me that was huge. So I had to really sort of scale everything up, and that was where it came from.
Yeah, but I absolutely love it.
Thank you.
Now, within the comic industry, do you have a couple characters that are yours, or how does that all work?
So, I mean, I've read comic books my whole life. I love Marvel comics, I love DC comics, I love all the new stuff that's coming out. It's so creative, and I kind of sort of get immersed in the worlds that they create, and so it's really similar to quilting in that regard, right? We look at these quilts and we get immersed in their world, and that's what they do in comic books too. And I find a lot of similarities between the two markets. They're just, it's incredibly fascinating to me.
Now, if you were going to come to my guild, what class would I take from you?
Well, I do a lot of fabric manipulation classes, and so I just finished teaching yesterday the Pleats to Meet You table runner. So it's a bunch of different pleats laid out in a table runner, so it's a real pretty table runner with all these little open pleats.
You are a hard worker, you know that?
Oh, thank you.
Yes, very, very good. I'm just amazed at what you're able to accomplish. At night, you know what I do? Go to bed. So thank you so much for taking time with us. I know it's been a long haul.
Oh, I appreciate the opportunity.
When do you get to go home? Sunday or Monday?
Sunday night, right after my last class. I pack up and go.
Yay, yay! Well, I look forward to running into you again.
Yay! Yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.